Hello again, this is Chester, and this is another report for the software design pattern. In this video, you will learn about Memento design pattern. Now, what is a Memento design pattern? A Memento design pattern is a behavioral design pattern. As defined by the Gang of Four, it is without violating encapsulation, capture and externalize an object's internal state, so that the object can be restored to this later. Now I remember a movie entitled Memento, where the protagonist lost the ability to store long-term memories, and his short-term memory resets every 15 minutes. I'm not sure if this pattern is based on that movie, but the concept in this pattern, I guess, is like having a short-term memory mechanism for the application. Looking into various examples around the internet, I believe this pattern is best for desktop application. However, in PHP, we will be using the session variables as a workaround, so we can store variables in the memory. In order to successfully implement this pattern, we must have the following requirements. The first requirement is the originator class. This class is like a converter class from data to object. It assigns the data into a memento object. The memento class is an object container of data. It handles the data assigned by the originator class. After converting the data to object, it is now being stored in the caretaker class, which is the storage of memento objects. This class contains multiple memento objects, and it only handles memento objects. Now let's look into the UML diagram. We have here the originator class with a variable data of string type. So we have the methods set, save to memento, restore from memento, and get data. We also have a memento class with an attribute of data of string type. We have the constructor method and the getData method. Then we have here our caretaker class with an attribute of store of array type. Then we have the methods setStore and getStore. Now let's look at our sample code. Okay, I have already prepared the sample codes. First, we have the originator class. So we have the attribute data of string type. So we initiate our attribute with an empty string. Then we have here the method set, which will actually assign a value to our data attribute. We have here the save to memento method, which will convert our data into a memento object. And we have here the restore memento method, restore from memento method, which will actually get the data stored in the memento object. And we have here the get data, which will actually get the data from the originator class. So we have the memento class in here. Okay, it has an attribute of data and a constructor which actually assign a data to the attribute. And then we have here the get data method, which will get the attribute data. And we have the caretaker class here. Now I have used session variables to actually store the memento objects into our memory. So we have here the set store and the get store. So I have added other methods, the count, the undo method, and the redo method. So the undo method, which will actually return to the previous state of our data, and actually this will only forward and backward the states of the data. So I have here the session ID so that we will know that the session has been started. So I've also added the current index and the save index. So the current index will determine what point in the store we are in, and the save index will actually be the next index to be saved. So in the constructor we unserialize the session store because we serialize it by storing the memento objects. So we convert the the array into a string, so we can restore it into a memento objects. So to test our code, I have here the test code. So I have already prepared the interface. Okay, let's look at the test code. So here is the test interface. So the article is actually our data here, and then the output corner, this will just output the the contents on the caretaker object. So once we add the data, then we save. So we will have in the store we'll have one item. So save another. Actually, it's adding more items on the store. So once we get back to the previous state, so we'll just undo, then we forward back to redo. Okay, and this is the memento design pattern, and I hope you like the video.